Good morning. I guess it's still morning. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today for our Business Support Network session. Normally we do roundtables or speaker topics once every month or so. We have a group of individuals that is part of the Business Support Network. It includes our municipality from the County of Grande Prairie, Community Futures, the Chamber, Alberta Labor, GPRC, who else?
TLR. A Revolution Group,
and Peace Wapiti School Division. So we meet on a regular basis, and tourism, Grande Prairie Regional Tourism Association. So we meet on a regular basis to kind of talk about what we're hearing from local employers and businesses as to hot topics. So we enjoy having you guys join us for sessions like this so that we can continue to do ones like this, and to also get your feedback and input as to future topics and speakers to bring forward as well. So we've actually been in operation almost 2 years now. We launched our Business Support Network back in 2018.
March of 2018, yep.
18?
Yeah.
Or no?
No,
2019. Yeah. Now we've lost time with COVID. Right. And we've had some amazing topics that we've talked about. We've certainly addressed a lot of the workforce concerns that we heard from the business visitation program that we've been involved with at the county level. And a lot of employers were just noticing and saying that there was some concern around access to skilled and unskilled labor into the future. Certainly this year has been interesting in terms of that, but I don't think it really negates those concerns. We've had individuals talking about the different programs available at a federal level. We've talked about programs available at a provincial level. We talked about the MELT program. We talked about the impact of cannabis legalization at work, things like that. So we've had a lot of different sessions where we've had lots of different perspectives as well. And then we introduced the concept of a roundtable where we invite business owners and stakeholders to join us in a roundtable discussion, kind of almost like a mastermind to talk about the challenges and concerns businesses have moving into the future and how we might be able to support them. And that's where sessions like this come along, because it's a program that's been around for a while, but sometimes it's good to get updated information and keep it top of mind for employers as well, especially as we move into this new next level of business development and service provision. So today we have a speaker, and what we'll probably do is do a quick roundtable, and then we'll end with our speaker, Bev. And Bev Lavender Marsh is the workforce consultant with Alberta Labor and Immigration, the employer and program services branch. And so Bev will be our guest speaker today, and I'll have her kind of move right into her presentation after we complete our roundtable. So we'll start with a roundtable of introductions, and just if you could tell us who you are and who you represent as either a business owner, business leader, or organization or municipality. So we'll start with you, Hetty, and then we'll just go down the list.
Sure. So I'm Hetty with the County of Grande Prairie. I am the Economic Development and Business Retention and Expansion Coordinator. I've been with the county for almost 7 years. I just wanted to let you guys know that we do have that labor market needs assessment that we are partnering with the city, the chamber, Alberta Labor, and the MD of Greenview. So we encourage the employers and employees, job seekers, to fill the surveys out that are there so that we can get a good grasp on what we're lacking, what we need to try and attract to the area and whatnot. So email me if you'd like more information on it or the link, and I will be glad to pass that on. So I'm going to go through what I see here, and I'm going to pick on you guys to do your roundtable in my video order. So Terry, if you could go next, that would be good.
Good morning, everyone. Almost afternoon. My name is Terry Dow, and I'm the Executive Director of the Grande Prairie Regional Tourism Association, as well as I sit on this committee.
Denise Carlson, please.
Hi, I'm Denise Carlson. I'm the owner-manager of Carlson & Company. We operate as a workplace, and we're funded by both Labor and Immigration and Community and Social Services to provide job supports to job seekers and also assistance to employers who are looking to find employees.
Nice to have you here, Denise. Nevin, please go ahead.
Hi everyone, I'm Nevin Bakir and I'm with the workplace. I'm an employment specialist and my duty here is to match the skills and qualifications with the employees and make connections with employers, organizations, and to match the skills with the employees who are looking for a job. I have been with the workplace since 2018, almost 3 years, and I'm still here. Thank you.
Thanks, Nevin. All right, David, please let us know who you're with.
Let me unmute. Hi, my name is David Lario. I'm with Arsenal Engineering, mechanical engineer. Just pretty small, just starting out, so it'll be nice to see how we can expand with some of these opportunities. And then I also help out Holly as a resident engineer on any engineering projects that they happen to come across.
Well, thanks for joining us today, David. Barry, it's your turn. You and Marley, please.
Awesome. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Barry Yaney. I work with Holly at Community Futures Grande Prairie Region. I am the business advisor. I love to get involved in these discussions with other businesses to really find out what they're doing in terms of how they're reacting to the current crisis, what they're doing with their business to pivot and change the way they're doing things. And so I'm very interested to hear the ideas and thoughts from other businesses.
I'm Marley, and I'm with Community Futures as well. I'm the office administrator. I just started here about a month ago, so I'm just sitting in to kind of see what a lot of these sessions are about and just grab some information whenever I can.
Welcome, Marley and Barry. So I'm going to skip over Bev because she's taking the spotlight today. So Naomi, please.
Sorry, having problems with the mute button. And hi, I'm Naomi from our work group, and we basically work with different clients with disability and even those just seeking employment with the two different programs that we work with. So I love being a part of this group because we also work with employers to help to partner clients with them. And thank you for the referral there, Hetty, that I got this last week with someone just to call in about some information about how we could partner together. So yeah, so we love to meet employers and kind of hear what you guys are doing and keep our fingers on the pulse of the job market as well.
You're welcome, Naomi. Thanks for coming today. Daryl, please, with Lifelong Learning.
Hi, my name's Daryl Weens. I'm the Executive Director for the Council for Lifelong Learning. We are working in education with adult foundational learners. We work with the workplace essential skills as well as helping newcomers with learning language skills that help them in the labor market. We have several grants that we've had through Alberta Labor specifically for helping newcomers with language acquisition.
Awesome. Thanks, Daryl. Leah, please.
Hi, Leah Holler with Women Building Futures. Just kind of here connecting women with skilled trades and getting them to go through training in the skilled trades and possible driving opportunities.
Thanks for joining us, Leah. This is your first as well, hey? Karna, please.
Hi, everyone. My name is Karna Germscheid. I'm the Executive Director for the Grande Prairie Regional Sport Connection, and I'm particularly interested in learning some opportunities to offset some of the increased costs and decrease in revenue that some of our sport organizations have been seeing. I know that some of the organizations, or most of the organizations, are completely volunteer run, but we do have about 10% of our organizations that do have employees, and so this will be very good information. Thanks.
Thanks, Karna. How about Carrie?
Hi everybody, Carrie Taylor from the MD of Greenview. I sit on 2 BSNs currently. Hopefully will be one more come 2021. So definitely just like to pick different ideas and see what everybody's up to.
Thanks for coming, Carrie. Chad.
Hi there, my name is Chad Boone. I'm the industry training coordinator with continuing education at Grande Prairie Regional College. And we offer industrial safety training, class 1, 3, and 6, computer and business training, and we have multiple banks that add up to about 3,000 online courses. And just to do a little tangent here for a second, we do have some free training available to businesses. So if you are looking for free forklift, wheeled loader, cargo securement, aerial lift, skid steer operator, or fall protection, please give us a call, 780-539-2799. Thank you.
That's awesome, Chad. Can you send me that information so I can share with the Business Support Network, please?
Will do.
Thank you. Lyndon, you're next, please.
Hi, Lyndon Roberts from the Philip J. Currie Dinosaur Museum. I've been in the Grande Prairie area for 1.5 years, so half my time has been COVID-19 year. The museum, well, it's completely turned on its head. We've done okay, but you know, after September, our revenue is largely from school groups, which are non-existent. So interested in anything I can hear from people.
Thanks, Lyndon. Brett, is that you? From Big Lakes County? Ward 5?
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, I am muted. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm Robert Nygaard, Councillor for Big Lakes County. I'm the Chairman for Big Lakes County Economic Development, and just like to see how this is all takes part and what. See if I can pick up a few pointers. And we got a business support network meeting with the town on the 8th. So hopefully I can get a few pointers. Thanks.
Thanks, Robert. You keep cutting out on my end. I hope everybody else heard that, but hopefully it's through on the recording. So Tina is just coming in.
Can you hear me?
A little bit, Robert. We got most of what you said. We can share the information with everybody. Hi, Tina.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks, Robert.
Okay, thanks. I'll just talk to you myself.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Tina. We're just giving a quick message to everybody as to who we are and what organization we're representing.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Tina Latender and I'm the acting CAO for the town of Beaver Lodge.
Thanks for attending today. So I would like Holly to give a little update as well, so I'll hand it back to her.
Awesome. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Holly Sorgen. I'm the Executive Director for Community Futures Grande Prairie Region, an economic development organization that specializes in working with small business, pretty much from idea to opening to growth to succession. We're actually really excited about a new program that we have that we're looking to launch November 2nd through the 7th in a launch week. We have partnered with Shell on a program called Shell Live Wire, and we're proud to be the first of the North American launch for Shell Live Wire. It's basically, in the past, has been a live entrepreneurship training and capacity development program for young entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs. Specifically in our area, we're looking to recruit Indigenous entrepreneurs who have a business idea that they want to expand on, or an idea that they'd like to have an opportunity to get started on. So for those of you who may have contact with individuals that are looking to start a business, that are Indigenous and are interested in taking part in some free training, our launch week, like I said, is November 2nd to the 7th. We've went entirely virtual on the Brightspace platform, which is similar to all of the ones that the post-secondary institutions use. So they can kind of be from any geographic area, and we would be placing them in teams to be working on their business ideas. We'll also have mentors to assist them with that, and then live training for each of the mornings of that week. And then we do have 3 boot camps and a finale, which is a pitch presentation to potential investors for a prize package to help them with their startup, which will be a combination of cash and services. So if you have someone who might be very interested, let me know. We also have some information that we can send you in the form of a poster, and we also have postcards and stuff like that. So get in touch with Hetty or get in touch with myself, and I'll get that information to you as well. We just launched the online application, which I believe is shell.livewire.ca. If that's not right, let me know and we can make sure you get the information. But if you're also interested in being a mentor or a speaker for Shell Livewire, we'd be happy to have you. Thanks very much. And we'll move on.
Yeah. So we will let Bev get into her information today. She does have quite a lot to go through, and I'm sure there are going to be questions. So if you could just post a question or hand up in the chat box so that I can try and monitor how many questions we've got. We only have till 1 o'clock, so I want to make sure that we get enough of the information covered and as many questions answered as we can. So Bev, take it away.
Okay. Still morning? Yeah. Okay. Good morning, everyone. As Holly and Hetty both said, my name is Bev Lavender Marsh, and I am a workforce consultant with Alberta Labour and Immigration. I'm located in Grande Prairie, and I cover the county and the city of Grande Prairie. Used to cover Grande Cache, but as Carrie knows, that has recently been aligned to the Hinton Workforce Consultants. So what do? I provide employers with tools and resources to help recruit, retain and strengthen their workforce. And to do that, I help connect employers to grant funding opportunities, government programs, services, and labor market information. And I will talk about labor market information as well, in addition to the Canada Alberta Job Grant, because I'm getting a lot of requests lately from organizations asking me to give them some information about the top 10 employers in the region for the last month and that kind of stuff. So that's labor market information. So I've also prepared a short PowerPoint on that to follow the Canada Alberta Job Grant PowerPoint as well, just to give you some information. And that's the fun stuff. So I'm going to share my screen. Can you see that? Hold on, because I can't see you. Hold on. Hetty, can you see that?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. So the Canada Alberta Job Grant, it's not a new grant, but it's been around for a while. So it funds employer-driven training. So the employer decides what training is needed to meet their business goals and objectives, and employers also decide who will be trained. So that way, this employer-driven program, that's the words we use all the time. This employer-driven program ensures the training reflects the skills that you as the employer are looking for. So the Canada Alberta Job Grant will help increase employer investment in training, productivity, worker skills, worker retention, and hiring and training unemployed Albertans. And I will get into that a little bit more. Eligible employers, it's open to private and nonprofit sector employers in Alberta, First Nations and Métis settlements, Crown corporations located in communities with a population of less than 100. So the two Crown corporations I'm talking about is Agriculture Financial Services Corporation and ATB Financial. And also sole proprietors are eligible for this program. Eligible trainees, so can be existing employees, Canadian citizen, permanent residents, refugees, employees of sole proprietors, and unemployed Albertans. So unemployed Albertans, that is defined as they're currently unemployed for more than 30 consecutive days, or a new hire with your company who has worked for you for 4 weeks or less, and they were previously unemployed for 30 consecutive days. Ineligible trainees, temporary foreign workers, those with temporary work permits, and students here on study visas, business owners or their immediate family members, and any person not living in Alberta. Eligible training providers, the training provider has to be separate from the employer, cannot be the organization that will employ the trainee, and does not include in-house training providers. Eligible costs, only direct training costs are eligible. So tuition fees or fees charged by the training provider, mandatory student fees, textbooks, software, and other related or required materials, exam fees, and assistance with some travel costs. So here's a little bit more information on the travel. It's designed to provide access to training opportunities for all Albertans, especially in rural areas. Travel assistance is limited to small and medium-sized organizations. Those working and training in a community outside of Calgary or Edmonton travel at least 100 kilometers, and it's 1 to 5 days maximum for training. So eligible training, this is where I get most questions. It has to be short-term incremental training. So it has to be a minimum of 21 hours. Courses can be bundled to reach that minimum hours, but it has to be at least 21 hours. Must start within 6 months of approval and completed within 52 weeks after the training start date. There's a lot of different formats. It must result in a credential, certificate, or a diploma, and apprenticeship training is not eligible. So incremental training, what does that mean? Basically, you have to ask yourself these 3 questions. Will the training take place without the Canada Alberta Job Grant? Has the training already been paid for? Has the training already started? And if you answered yes, you're not eligible for the Canada Alberta Job Grant. So it's a training over and above what you would normally offer to your employees. So there is an exception. So if you are hiring an unemployed Albertan, the grant funding will cover the cost of required and approved training needed to get the job. Training cannot start prior to the application approval date, and there must be a commitment to hire that trainee. And again, unemployed Albertans are people who've been out of the workforce for 30 consecutive days, or people you recently hired within the last 4 weeks who had out of the workforce for 30 days before that. So for an employed trainee, the Canada Alberta Job Grant can cover a maximum of 2/3 of the eligible training cost, and the employer will cover 1/3. The maximum is $10,000 grant per trainee per fiscal year. An unemployed trainee, the Canada Alberta Job Grant covers 100% of the eligible costs, and then the maximum grant is $15,000 per trainee per fiscal year. There is a funding cap, the maximum of $10,000 per employed trainee or maximum $15,000 per unemployed trainee, but there's also a cap for an employer. So individual employers will be capped at $300,000 of grant funding per fiscal year. So side by side, the employed trainees, the Canada Alberta Job Grant can cover 2/3 of eligible trainee costs. The employer contribution is 1/3. The funding cap is $10,000, and the funding cap per employer is $300,000. If you apply for training for an unemployed Albertan, that Canada Alberta Job Grant can cover up to cover the whole cost, 100%. The employer contribution is 0. The funding cap is $15,000, and the funding cap per organization is $300,000. So this is the process at a glance. I hope you can see that. So before you apply, the employer will identify the training needs of your company. You will select a training provider. Then you submit an application. You pay for the training now or after you get grant approval. You receive a decision and a reference number. You begin the training with your employees. The employee completes the training. You submit the training completion form, receive the Canada Alberta Job Grant payment. That's the process. So you have to apply, and then you have to pay for the training. Application forms are assessed on the Canada Alberta Job Grant, or accessed at the Canada Alberta Job Grant, and there's 2 application forms. You have to make sure you fill out the right one. So there's 2 application forms, one for employed trainees, and there's another one for unemployed trainees. And many employers fill out both because they are looking for training dollars for both employed and unemployed trainees. There is help for employers. There's applicant guide, and I refer to that guide a lot. It's a lot more detail. It gives good examples. There are checklists for both employers and the trainees. I'm available to help you with some questions or trying to direct you to where the answers are, and Chad can step up and answer as many questions as he'd like because he's with GPRC and is very familiar with this grant. There's an email, and there's also phone numbers. And yeah, so the 1-855-638-9424 is toll free. And you can ask specific questions on these or email specific questions. So that was kind of fast. There's a lot of questions on the Canada Alberta Job Grant. Were there any questions on this before I move to labor market information? Oh my, no questions?
There are no questions in the chat box.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing just so I can just change the PowerPoint. Okay.
Hey,
I think
this is Holly. I do have a question for you, and it's more kind of, I guess, universal. What are some of the typical ways that employers in this region have been using this grant? Just as some examples, because sometimes it's hard to understand as an employer if you haven't used it. Like, what could I typically use it for?
Great. A lot of people use it for the MELT program, as Chad can attest to. For the MELT program, that's the mandatory entry-level training for Class 1 drivers. It can be used if the employer is eligible. And a lot of people use it for project management. There's some leadership courses that I know some employers here use. I'm just trying to rack my brain. If there's any employers here online or that have used it, can definitely speak up there.
Well, they can also use it to package courses. We've had people use it for, say, first aid and H2S and say WMIS. So it's quite flexible.
Yeah, so you can bundle the courses. So as you know, H2S is not 21 hours. So you can bundle it with H2S first aid just to make sure you have the 21 hours.
Yeah, I've used it as well several times. So we've used it for one of our staff received her career and employment advising certificate through University of Calgary. We have one of our staff doing it now. And Nevin also completed courses last year and in working in the teaching English as a second language, working with second language learners. So we've used it in particular to our business.
Terry did put in the chat, what is the approval time?
It's 3 to 4 weeks right now. It's dependent on the number of applications that the assessment center has. Sometimes it could be 2 weeks, sometimes it could be 6 weeks. So right now they're telling me they're averaging 3 to 4 weeks. Any other questions?
Yeah, Bev, I have a question. Like, so can you use it? Let's say, for instance, I want to train my staff on something specific like social media marketing, Hootsuite, how to use those kind of computer or online marketing programs. Would it qualify for something like that? Because they can get a little pricey.
Right, it depends. So it has to be incremental training if the training is for existing staff. So if it's for example, if you are someone who work in a warehouse and your employer now would like for you to be a Class 1 driver, yes. If the employer's in good standing with the province, then that would be incremental. If you have existing staff and you're now bringing out a new computer program for accounting, and this is for all the accounting division, then no, that would not be classed as incremental because it's training that you would have to offer anyway. So it depends, Terry, on how much, like, it depends on the details, really.
Okay. Okay, I'll think about that a little bit more then. Thank you.
Definitely. Okay. Alrighty, so now we're going to get to labor market trends in Grande Prairie. So what is labor market? For some geeks like me who love all this data stuff, this is a lot of fun. So labor market information just says that, like, demand means the number of jobs available and supply tells you the number of people who are able to work. And basically labor market information, the principal elements are the demand for labor and the supply of labor. And it's a lot of fun. So this is just my little kicker here. Just LMI, or labor market information, helps Albertans make important decisions on their employment and career planning. It also helps employers, industry, and government plan for future workforce needs. All the data. So I pulled some stats for Alberta job postings in August 2020. You can see on this graph that we're in green for August. We're not back where we were in April, which is great. We have a little bit higher in August than it was in July. That's the number of job postings in all of Alberta. So I have some slides just on Alberta, and then we get to Grande Prairie. So for trade, transport, equipment operators in Alberta for August 2020, the top 5 hiring locations were Calgary, Edmonton, Fort Mac, and we're tied with Lethbridge. So we hit the top 5. So again, for trades, transport, and equipment operators, this is for September 2020. The top occupations in these sectors, in this sector, were transport truck drivers, that's no shocker, carpenters, automotive service techs, construction trades helpers and laborers, other repairs and servicers, okay, material handlers, roofers and shinglers, delivery and courier service drivers, contractors and supervisors, and public works. So let's talk about Grande Prairie. The first slide I have here, I use the Stats Can data. So Statistics Canada includes Grande Prairie in the region with Banff, Jasper, Rocky Mountain House, Athabasca, and Peace River. And this is one of the reasons why we have started the labor market needs assessment for Grande Prairie for the city, the county, and MD of Greenview, because the region that Stats Can use is very vast and we're lumped in there. So we like to have some data on our own region. But anyway, the unemployment rate for July was 14.4%. And for August, it went down, thank goodness, down to 12.1%. And I just looked at last year this time, or last year in August, it was 5.4%. So this is for Grande Prairie only, city and county of Grande Prairie. This is the data that I pulled from a program that we use. It's called Garner Talent Neuron. And they get their data from jobs that were advertised on public sites. So the top 10 occupations were, just for September, so I looked at September 1st to September 30th, were retail sales, transport truck drivers, retail sales supervisors, auto service techs and mechanics, school teacher assistants, which is not a big shocker seeing that we're in September, wholesale sales, customer service supervisors, construction trades helpers and laborers, food service supervisors, and licensed practical nurses. So just a note on that one, most of these were down over the year before. So so a lot of this times I just compare, say, the September data in 2020 to September data in 2019. Most of these, of course, were down compared to the job ads from last year. However, there were 4 that were increased a lot, and they were retail sales supervisors, school teachers assistants, customer service supervisors, and LPNs all had huge increases in demand. Okay, top 10 employers. So these top 10 employers, just based on the number of job ads that they have out. Okay, so this again is for September 1st, September 30th, only for Grande Prairie City and County. Alberta Health Services, Grande Prairie and District Catholic Schools, Mainline Construction, Walmart, City of Grande Prairie, Best Buy, The Source, Canada Post, Loblaws, and Clearstream Energy. Top 10 industries were retail trade, healthcare and social assistance, transportation and warehousing, construction, mining, oil and gas extraction, wholesale trade, professional, scientific and technical services, finance and insurance, administrative support and waste management, and accommodation and food services. I always like to include the certifications or what people need to get the job. So driver's license, first aid, class 5 driver's license, basic cardiac life support, LPN course, CT, CSTS, that's construction safety, certified registered nurse, certified in long-term care, TODG, and emergency medical system training. So I do have my contact email, phone number there. I also have a resource list. Do you have some other programs if you're interested? Because I know some of you said when you introduced yourselves that you're interested in other, maybe some funding. So there are some other grant funding there that I didn't put on the PowerPoint that I wouldn't mind just going over. I have a few minutes and I just want to talk to, there is a LMP program. That's a labor market partnership grant. And that's how we are involved in the labor market needs assessment with the city, the county, and MD of Greenview. This one can be used to enhance a workplace human resource development and labor market strategies. And it's a partnership with community-based organizations or employers. Alberta Biz Connect. And again, I have a resource sheet that Hetty can email out after with the links on all of this. Alberta Biz Connect is where support is available to help businesses and nonprofits reopen and resume operations safely. It's a lot of information there. There is also the Small and Medium Enterprise Relaunch Grant, where eligible job creators can apply for up to $5,000 to offset a portion of the relaunch costs. And again, I will have links to all that. There is the Agriculture Job Connector, and that's an online resource that allows Albertans to find opportunities in the agriculture sector. And I'm open for questions. Any other questions? Now is your time.
Can you stop sharing your screen, Bev, please?
Bev, I have a question. When you were doing those lists, was it like when it said the top 10 employers, was that like 1, 2, 3, 4? Was that in order, or because it was interesting? Yes. Oh, it was. So retail sales people was #1 on. Okay, so that's okay. So it was in order. Okay, thank you. That's interesting. Good fact.
Yeah, I didn't put in all the percentages because it's only the top 10. So when I do graphs and stuff, people want it to add up to 100%, right? But the top 10 is not percent because there's lots of other jobs that's advertised. So like it adds up to say 70%, but it's only the top 10. So that it's always, I always get questions about the math. So that's why I didn't put it in. But yeah, it is.
Okay, so they were in order then. And
yes.
Okay, 1 to 10. Okay.
I also do a newsletter every couple months that I include the hiring bulletins. So that includes the Alberta information on the trades and on healthcare and other links to labor market information. So if you are interested in receiving that, you can definitely, my newsletter, you can definitely just send me an email, or you can also just drop me, just call me. Yeah, I'm here.
What about as we project ourselves into the winter? What's that look like for the labor market? And like the construction will drop off, but how does that normally pan itself out, Bev? Just
well, it's hard to answer that question, Terry, because everything is so unknown at this time. With the construction, a lot of that do like drop off. Somewhat, it reduces itself because it's the winter. And usually we see an increase in healthcare positions and we see an increase in school positions, right? Normally just before Christmas, we see a big increase in retail. One thing that impacted a lot of the retail positions is the CERB, right? Some people didn't want to go back to work and make less money. And we've seen that in a lot of the job postings in our area because they're staying at home and they can then, you know, get $1,000. But daycare also, if they got kids in school, a lot of people are trying to homeschool. They're not sure if they should send their children to school. Some people are doing homeschooling, which has never done homeschooling before. So there's so many new impacts on the economy, which makes labor market information so interesting at this time. Ask me Christmas and I'll do another one.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Bev.
Naomi was asking if you will share the PowerPoint through email, Bev. I am sharing the video, but I can share the PowerPoint with everybody after this.
Sure, yeah, and my contact information.
Yeah, it may take a day or two for me to get it together, but I will send it.
I'm wondering, just another question, sorry. Nevin, are you seeing that kind of same demand for those jobs and those categories as Bev has reported here? Is that what are you seeing those kind of jobs being in demand? The retail?
Yeah, I see the same as on the PowerPoint Bev mentioned. Retail stores, they're right now really on demand. We see some of oil companies, they're coming back, they're hiring people. Food industries, a lot. Yeah, the same. And we do have clients who are really looking for those jobs, have an employment background, have an experience with those companies, with those jobs. So it's really, yeah, we see it a lot in these days.
So are you really busy, Nevin? Like you've got a lot of people out of work looking for positions, or do you have more employers? Like how is it really busy? Like what do you
say both? I want to say both, just because we at least at this point we're really busy. We have a lot of clients who are looking for a job. Some of them just lost their jobs. Some of them they just want to change their careers. They don't want to work anymore with oil companies. So we do have people, moms specifically, coming, back from after raising their kids after a few years. And also we do have employers at this point. I can say I browse a lot on Indeed, Kijijis, JobBank, Facebook. I go and try to see what is out there, but at the same time I'm receiving phone calls, emails, asking for employees from different industries. That could be truck drivers, constructions, I can say. Yeah,
Okay.
it is really busy. We are.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Not sure if some of you seen, we also did a virtual job hub with, well, Alberta Labor and Immigration. We partnered with the workplace with Denise and Nevin, and we did a virtual job hub. It wasn't an online job fair. It was a job hub where we had 4 employers. It was all by Zoom. It was 4 employers presented on their company, what skills they look for, any job openings they have, and job seekers had the opportunity then to ask the employers questions, which went over very well. We had our first one in September. It's no cost to anyone, and it just, yeah, we're already looking forward to our November one. So if you're an employer and you're looking for people or would like just 15 minutes to promote your business, you can contact me or Denise or Nevin, and yeah, we can schedule you in.
Kind of like the tables have turned, eh, Beth? Instead of people sitting in front of that potential employer, now the employers have to sell their company for people to want to come and work for them.
It is, and employers are so passionate about their businesses. And then you have the job seekers on the line, and I was a bit wary at first, so, oh, maybe they won't ask questions. The job seekers were fully engaged. They asked excellent questions. You could tell they were prepared. And the employer, the feedback that we got from that virtual job hub, the employers enjoyed it, but so did the job seekers. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good way of doing it because you get to interview who you get to work for or who you potentially might work for, right? Because it goes both ways, I think.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It never used to happen like that.
I want to say one of the great things in our first virtual job fair was focused on the retail sales industry. And certainly what Nevin is hearing, Nevin makes calls on a daily basis. We have an agreement with people who have recently applied for employment insurance. We get their names and we give them a call to let them know what we're doing. But some of the feedback we're getting from employers is that they are certainly getting a lot of resumes in for a position. So it really has switched into an employer's marketplace right now. And Nevin is certainly hearing them when she's making these calls to people who've recently applied, as they say, you know, we're using the same methods, you know, where we think we have a good resume, but we're not even hearing back because there are so many people going after the same job. So a lot of highly skilled people out there looking for work right now. But it was a very good event, and the feedback we got from employers is that in 15 minutes they could reach a wide variety of job seekers to promote their business, what they look for in a qualified candidate, the kind of opportunities they have, and how they make those hiring decisions. So we did have a couple of employers attend who had job openings, but excellent way to get information out. As one employer said, you know, in 15 minutes I could reach a wide variety of job seekers. And our next one we are planning, and if anybody's interested, Nevin we just had a planning meeting. We're planning our next job hub in, I believe, the 3rd week in November. We're going to be focusing on opportunities and community service and nonprofit organizations. And so anybody is interested, just give Nevin a call. And our number at the workplace is 780-539-5477. Or you can look us up on our website as well.
Any questions at all?
Sounds like you explained it too well, Beverly. You didn't leave anybody in the dark with any of the information.
Well, if anyone is shy or get the information in the PowerPoint and want further information, just email me. I'm here. I'm located in Grande Prairie. I'm in the provincial building. Won't be out meeting many people in person, of course, but Zoom or Skype or phone call or an email.
No, in our experience from a Community Futures perspective, working with different organizations that are represented here, there's a lot of support out here for employers who are looking for different programs to support you. It's really just a matter of having that conversation, and I think you'd be very surprised by what's out there to support you in what your general business is and the hiring, also in trying to subsidize some of the cost of training. Like that's fairly major, and in that, especially in that first little bit when we hire, it's good to kind of judge commitment and help to skill up a little bit for people that you know just have the right attitude. So and our organization also took advantage of the Canada-Alberta Job Grant with a couple of staff members to do some professional business coaching training and get certified there. So it just kind of helps to really elevate your business. So if you have specific areas that you really like to see you up in your business, this is a great way of kind of identifying a staff person that might be able to bring that to you. I know I've seen businesses where they assisted their whatever person who had passion for it to do some HR courses to help them really up their game on that. And I've also seen some that really perfected different areas that they felt were gap areas in their businesses to help strengthen the business. So don't think of it just as kind of a skill up of a person, but it's more about building capacity in your business. So.
Cool. Okay, well, I think Bev was through that way faster than I expected her to. She threatened me that she had a good hour of information, and then she scaled it way down. So
I could talk for hours, Hetty.
I can too, but I don't want to bore everybody. So if nobody has any further questions, then I guess that will be our day for today. You can now go for a quick half-hour walk before you have to get back to the office, or grab something to eat, because none of us wanted to eat on camera, except for everybody with their cameras off. So we will have a round table in November, I believe. I think November 10th in the morning. I'm going to have to confirm with my steering committee if that day works for them. So that's just a place where all of our business supports and businesses and leaders and supervisors can come together to speak about the issues that they're having, any trends that they're seeing, anything that they're looking for. My whole goal is for this group to be a job share or a resource share type of organization where we don't have to try and rely on outside resources to get what we need to be successful in our businesses and our supports. So if anybody has any questions or any suggestions for topics, please send me an email, and we'll be happy to discuss them at the steering committee and try and make them work for you. If you would like to speak on a topic, let me know that as well. We are always looking for speakers to talk about different resources and supports that are available to the business community. So I think with that, we will call it an afternoon, and I hope everybody has a good rest of their sunshiny day out there.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you.